Reports here at TopVelocity.net. Going to do a pitch announce here, Mike. Pair them up with legendary Kaohi Downing. So taking them both out of leg lift. Okay. You can see right before leg drive, both loading, sitting on their back leg well, but the difference being the posture. You can see Kaohi was a little bit more upright. You can see Mike is more leaning forward. So this camera is not completely side camera, but you can see here with Mike, he's leaning more over his feet, basically. Not only that, early cocking the arm, so early opening or throwing out glove side, early cocking arm. So the timing right now, the upper body looks too early. And like I said, the posture is going to be off. There's going to be more weight over the toes. Kaohi is more upright. So just before leg drive, you can see Kaohi keeps his momentum going, stays closed. If we take Mike to that same place, he's also staying closed, so they're both doing a good job of staying closed here. But once again, you can still see Kaohi's hasn't even cocked the arm, hasn't even started to lift the arm when Mike has. But at this point, I mean, this is why Kaohi was so good at using his kinetic chain. Look at just before landing right here. So this is just before landing. And look how well he's flexed into this back leg. And at this point, just before landing here for Mike, you know, he's already into knee extension. Okay. So Mike's going more down and then having to push out. Kaohi's keeping him more forward and down at the same rate movement. So if we go back to those leg lifts, see how Kaohi goes forward and down better when Mike is pretty much down and then has to push and extend out with the back leg. And then we're already into extension here. So this is going to be early drive and not even a good linear drive. This is going to be a very good linear late drive. And you're going to see because of that, look how he accelerates so well into front foot. When we take Mike into front foot right here, you know, and stability right there. Let's see, yeah. You can see at front foot, Mike's going to be more chin forward. Kaohi's going to be more chin back. So because Kaohi loaded his hips forward and down the same rate better and then peaked his forces, it helped keep his trunk loaded back. And because Mike went squatted down and then had to drive out early, everything went early. Trunk went early. Arm is up and trunk is even more opened. Kaohi's more closed. Okay, so it's just keeping those hips forward and down the same rate, you know, and holding flexion in that back leg as long as possible, like Kaohi did, is going to time the kinetic sequencing closer to front foot strike, which is a more elite movement. So we can see from here, because of that, at front foot, Kaohi gets good then forward trunk tilt, good loading of the trunk. You can see quickly Mike goes in extra orientation while his trunk is still pushing forward. So because at front foot Mike's trunk was too far forward, well past the belt buckle, the arm got caught behind. So look at this. Squared trunk, elbows behind shoulders. Look at Kaohi. Squared trunk, elbow in line with shoulder. So this is an injury concern. You know, if you start throwing, 85 plus with your elbow that far behind your back, I'm concerned about injury. And once again, this is a sequencing timing issue because your trunk went early because you were able to drive and peak forces late, so your trunk went early. And now notice how there really isn't much trunk tilt. Like at this point, this is where your trunk is, and notice at pitch release, right here, the trunk, maybe went 8 inches. If we look at Kaohi, and this is not in a perfect side view, and then when he goes to pitch release, plus this is moving, considerably far. So let's just look at what's behind him. So the pole on that house. And then as he goes forward and to release, here's the pole in the house, and here's, up here. So considerably more distance covered in that trunk, which has one of the highest correlations to velocity. Not only that, Look at the front leg extension supporting that movement, all very elite. So you can see Mike's more bent. He's forward, but not much forward trunk as the energy transferred to his trunk as he came in out of rotation. Okay? So it's just sequencing better from the beginning, keeping the hips moving forward and down at the same rate, not cocking the arms so early, holding flexion longer like Kohei does here, meaning staying on your backside longer, opening into triple extension here, late, just before front foot. That keeps the trunk loaded better. Then you get more trunk energy going forward, and he adds to that with more drive. So, Mike's, it's just getting the timing, the sequencing earlier better. And then, this Kohei's extremely explosive. He's not big, but he's extremely explosive. And then working on that explosive power.